Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I have something really fun for you to try today. One thing I get asked a lot about is sweep picking, how to practice and develop your sweep picking to get it nice and fast and fluid. So today we're going to be looking at a sequence from the song called Liar by Yngwie to build up that technique and get it nice and fast. So this sequence is excellent to practice whether you're new to sweep picking or if you have a lot of experience with it. This whole sequence is using 3-string arpeggios, which are a lot easier and more concise to start with than like a 5 or 6-string arpeggio shape. It uses a bunch of different arpeggios in different inversions as well. You have some major shapes, minor shapes, diminished, even a dominant shape thrown in there. So it gets you practicing a lot of the different arpeggio shapes. Even though you're playing all these different arpeggio shapes with your left hand or your fretting hand, the sweep picking technique is mostly focusing on your right hand to work on the technique. So with sweep picking, as always, you want to have that constant push and pull motion in your picking hand, and you don't want to be picking the strings with individual picking motions. You want a nice fluid, which will allow you to get it much quicker that way. So with each arpeggio shape, I'm starting on the highest note of the arpeggio with a pull off, and I'm picking that up. I'm picking the B string up, and then I'm picking the next 3 notes down. You can imagine that would be a lot harder to play if I'm trying to pick each note, or especially if you're trying to alternate pick it or something like that, which you typically wouldn't do unless you're John Petrucci in the glass prison for some reason. Then you want to use the sweep picking technique to get it nice and fast and fluid. So I'm not going to walk you through every single note of each shape, but I am going to have the tabs on the screen and play through it slow and then play through it quick so that you can see the different shapes, and you can also see what type of arpeggios I'm playing for each shape. You can see with some of those arpeggio shapes, it's really important to be able to roll your finger when you're playing either 2 or 3 strings with the same finger. With sweep picking, the goal is to always not let any notes bleed together, so you don't want to hear, which ends up sounding like a chord. You want to hear each individual note as clean as possible, which of course is tricky and it takes a lot of practice, but that is the challenge with sweep picking. So it is a good idea to sit there for a little bit with some of those more challenging shapes and just practice rolling your finger back and forth. Start really, really slow and then try to work it up to speed so that when you try the different shapes, you can hear the notes individually even though it's the same finger rolling multiple strings. Now here it is closer to full tempo. If you do have some experience with sweep picking, this is an excellent sequence to practice for speed and try to push yourself to play it faster and faster. For that, you can definitely use a metronome and try to keep track of your progress that way. I would play this in either triplets or 6-tuplets, groups of 3s or groups of 6s with the metronome. So it works nicely because each arpeggio shape is a group of 6 notes. As you're trying to push yourself to play it faster and faster, you definitely want to make sure you're maintaining the clarity of all the notes and the consistency of the rhythm, making sure that every note is of equal speed. So hopefully you guys have found this lesson video to be fun and helpful. I'm always looking for more ideas for lesson videos, so definitely let me know in the comments what you guys would like to have some help with. Make sure to subscribe for future videos, and as always guys, Keep up the practice.